Essentially, the reason why I got into this work was I come from a community, but also come from a family of activists. My grandmother in the 50s started a youth organisation, community organisation called the Nightingale Project. And off the back of my grandmother, many organisations kind of developed from that. And I've got many uncles and aunties that are involved in community work. So for me, it was more, I kind of say I was fighting against the tide. You know, I was a mischievous young boy, naughty for most part of my early years. And I think it was through a series of situations and personal situations around violence and gangs that essentially made me change the way that I thought and the way that I kind of done things. And I think when I got to my late teens, I discovered Malcolm X and had significant mentors. And it was through those discussions and that change in thinking was what made me do what I want to do. So I essentially wanted to leave university, get my degree, and come back to my community and then help people. And then once I did do that and got a job working in the community, then I kind of had a thirst for education. So whereas I wasn't really interested in education before, I now done a degree, worked in the community, and then kind of started developing a new passion. Hence why I went back and done a diploma, done a master's degree, and then kind of went on and continued some of my studying. So now I'm in a position where I'm not just working with young people in my community, but I'm training professionals to be able to work in the community. One of the things that people always say is, Craig, how do you do what you do? I actually don't know the answer. So maybe through developing things through educational means would give other people the insight and also the platform to be able to do some of the stuff that I do in the community, so they can replicate the same type of work. And I think that kind of one of the things that about black people, especially, is that we've had a long history of teaching each other, and I think that's our ancient African traditions. And I think it's about how do we reinforce those things and how do we bring that into concepts in 2017. So that's really why I got back into this work, why I wanted to do it. I wanted to give back. I wanted to be an example for those young brothers in our community that come from similar and different backgrounds and can say, you know what, if I can leave school without no GCSEs, I can bounce back and make it. And I always say real G's get degrees. It's very difficult in the beginning because I had a lust and a passion. I would say that I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve. I was always out in the community. It came to a point where my phone was ringing all the time, night time, 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Someone's been stabbed, shot, beat up, assaulted, verbally abused. And I found myself always going out and engaging with community, family, whatever. But over time I've found myself getting burnt out. And I always talk about burnout and stress being a big thing in our community that we don't often talk about. And I remember a mentor said it to me, but I didn't really acknowledge it until I went to hospital for the first time, and then went to hospital again and again. And I needed to understand work-life balance. And then also, I've got a son, and he's getting older now, and I always say, people ask me, what's your biggest fear? My biggest fear is that my son grows up to 13, 14, 15 years old and says, Dad, you're a waste man because you was never there. So I don't want to spend my whole life fighting and trying to protect and inspire other people's children that I forget about my own. And that's my biggest fear. So in terms of work-life balance, I've changed it up. I'm doing different things. I'm in a more comfortable position in terms of my role and what I do in the community. So I get to go home 5-6 o'clock in the day and see my little ones. I get to chill with them on the weekends and do all of the things that parents should be doing with their kids. So it's a difficult task because this type of work, it requires soldiers, and there's not a lot of people that are out there with the mindset and the knowledge to be able to can do it. So trying to get the work-life balance is difficult, but it's something that we have to consider if we want to move forward. One thing I always advise young people is, if you are feeling or thinking that you need some sort of support, try and find someone to speak to. It's not easy. I know young people are going through all kind of different things, bullying, peer pressure, involved in something. Once they get out, they've made a decision, can't turn back, or feel they can't turn back. I would say try and find someone they can speak to. Try and locate people in your community online, because social media is the way forward for young people now. There are people online that you can send a message to, holler at, and say, you know what, can I talk to you, can I ask a question? And if you're not confident to do that, then find someone that you're comfortable to talk to get them to holler at somebody and have that conversation. So sometimes I'll have a random message on Facebook, a young girl saying she's feeling very suicidal, and I'll be honest with them and I'll say, you know what, I'm not qualified, I'm not a psychologist, but I can hear what you're saying, and if you trust me enough, I know someone that can support you. So maybe the person you speak to might not have the answers, but they can find someone that does have the answers. So I'll always encourage young people to speak. Try and find a way to make your voice be heard, because I understand when voices don't get heard in our community, young people go crazy. So that's my advice to all young people.
Well, what I take from today is obviously there's a lot of problems these days with black communities and the police officers and everything, and just the racial base of it. But I've also realized that, you know, there's rooted problems in our lives itself that we need to sort out, that sometimes it does not always start outside, but it starts inside the house. Why do we not want to go home? What is the problems at home that we need to sort out, that so that we can help the people out in our community? And it's just very interesting.
So Craig touched on some really good points about black youth crime in the UK in general. And you've got issues where young kids are coming from school and just hanging out with their friends because they're not going home because maybe there's nothing to do at home, maybe their parents are not at home. So, and Craig did touch on some points about sort of the history of black people in the country as well, which I wasn't too familiar with myself, but I'll probably do my research after today. Yeah, it was quite good. I wish it went on for longer, to be honest, but yeah, I've learned new things from it. Also, the concept of like, is gang actually cool? Like, it is not cool, but it's gang being made to be cool. So is that why everyone, I don't know, trying to follow that gang life? But yeah, it was quite interesting. That's a tough one. Me myself, I don't know. Because I've not really been a victim of sort of police brutality or anything like that. Doesn't mean I should know it. Do you know what I'm saying? But obviously, I know a lot of people. Again, I feel like it's becoming sort of a popular thing. I know a lot of people that sort of had issue with police, and maybe the police in themselves need to sort of get involved in the community. I don't know, go to youth clubs and just drop by and just chill with the guys. No, every time you drop by, you should arrest them. Do you know what I'm saying? Not saying you shouldn't arrest them if you have to, but every now and then just be that guy that they know around the community. Oh, that's PC. I don't know, PC or whatever, and yeah, it's quite cool. But yeah, I feel like maybe they can get involved in the community more, just chill with the lads.